Hey, what's going on, guys? I finally got my internet back up and working. Cause here lately it hasn't really been working that well, unfortunately. Um, which has been kind of creating a bit of a problem. Um, and that's just with like how the internet was working. Um,
Burning, melting goodness. I made finger pizza just for you. I can taste the iron. Shut up!
Holy shit. Anyway, so yeah, I just noticed that when me and my friend Chase were just playing games and you know just kicking it, fucking internet suddenly just shuts off. So I unplug the router, I plug it back in, you know, I do the typical shit, and fucking yeah, no, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do a lick of good. It's just been down for a couple days. I'm like, all right, well maybe the internet's down, so I fuck off. I go to work. I come back. You know, it's been 3 days since I haven't been playing video games online, and quite frankly, I'm okay with that. You know, like I don't need to necessarily constantly be online. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm gonna die if I'm not online. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how it be sometimes, and that's perfectly cool. That's perfectly fine. Holy dog shit. But yeah, no guys, fucking, it's not that I've been lazy or that I haven't been wanting to upload anything, it's just that I've been working and my internet's not been working. So, yeah, it's just been a whole fiasco. Got my rent paid, got my traffic ticket paid, got all my bullshit paid. I'm just bored, yeah, honestly. Yeah, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. I've been engaging in lots of different conversation about like religion and politics and philosophical ideas and concepts and history and conspiracy theories and just the whole wazoo, you know what I mean? Just like everything you can imagine. And it's just like, I don't fucking know. Yeah, it seems to be a bit much for me, if I'm being honest with you. Unfortunately, I have modded gear. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of modded gear. But I got rid of most of my modded gear. The rest of these, like pearls, like as you guys can see, I got 39 out of 39 backpack space, so you know, I mean, like, yeah, these are legitimate. Now, the thing is, you're like, okay, well, he's got OP7 stuff. How could he use OP7 stuff if he's only level 73? Well, that's because I got this stuff at OP7 when the DLC for the Commander Lilith DLC came out. I had to re-level up to level, I had to get to level 80, and like with Krieg, I had already maxed out. And you know, this is basically like gonna be my final build, basically. You know, I'm only just going to knock out Thrill to Kill and fucking probably like maybe this one. I don't know. I know I'm not going to be able to acquire feat or release the beast, but elemental empathy, percentage of elemental status effect damage done to an enemy heals you. And I have this set up to where I do an additional 70% more burn damage. I have an additional fire bonus and the self-ignite chains. Okay. And, yeah. Elemental effect chance increased by up to 400%. Combined with my badass ranks and other effects, you know, it's pretty common that my elemental weapons will affect or, you know, slag my enemies or burn my enemies or vice versa. And then this is while you're on fire, um, the damage you receive is reduced by a massive percentage of 50%. Of the damage that I intake is reduced by 50%. So that means if an enemy is doing 100,000 damage, that means they're only doing 50,000 damage. If they're doing 1,000,000 damage, it means they're only doing 500,000 damage. Still a lot of damage, but it reduces it by half, which is crazy to me. That is crazy. And then there's the fact that I'm being healed while I'm burning them while I'm on fire. So it's constantly getting health, taking less damage, being more OP. And then there's overkill, blood explosion. So let me read blood explosion for you guys. Killing an enemy causes them to explode in a nova, matching the element of the damage that killed it, with non-elemental damage creating an explosive nova. Nova damage is increased for each stack of bloodlust. This will clear entire rooms, and considering that elemental effect damage and causing elemental effect damage and being on fire plays a massive role into both, I just find it to be very powerful. There is this magazine size per stacks of bloodlust. I can get up to 500% magazine size, I would assume. So magazine of all weapons increases per stacks of bloodlust. So in other words, with guns like the butcher that sometimes have a chance to add ammo into the magazine, I can increase the size of the magazine, and I don't know, if you play it correctly, it can do crazy shit. Like no kidding, it can do actually crazy shit. And so the goal is to quickly gain stacks and hold those stacks of bloodlust to essentially stay overpowered. So in other words, like this, adds plus 10 stacks. During Buzzsaw Axe Rampage, all damage you suffer is reduced. Damage reduction 50%. So if I'm on fire and I activate that, essentially I'm basically, you know, I'm pretty much invincible. Basically, if I'm on fire and I'm in Buzzsaw Axe Rampage. It's definitely no secret. I mean, it's a very strange character to play.
You're nothing! Red Room!
Look at that 300 magazine. Like, it's crazy. Not a huge fan of this weapon's projectile pattern. Oh, let's just switch it out. What is it? The try to fire. And there's always the there's the Becca. I mean, I love the Becca. I think the Becca is one of the coolest weapons. Where was it? Damn it! Here it is. I think the Becca is one of the coolest rifles in all of Borderlands. Wait a second. This isn't real. Cause it says Bandit, and this is it's a modded gear item. Ugh. No one wants you. Here are some real butchers. This is a real Bandit SMG. I could have sworn I got rid of. And not the Florentine here. The Florentine is not real either. God damn it. Anything else I need to know? Well, you guys are the first to see it. I do not tolerate modded gear. I just dropped 2 pieces of modded gear. Now the only one I won't drop is going to be this. Okay, this is black rarity. That's modded. Black rarity items, you just never see them. So that I'll keep that item. Do I have? No, I do not. I do not have Seraph crystals. I think I spent the remaining bit of Seraph crystals. I'm just gonna pick these back up. I mean, I'm going to probably. I'm not gonna use them, but I'm definitely gonna sort them out and try and figure out who I got these from. Yes, these are modded gear. I want to make sure that. But yeah, you can do crazy things with this character. Like, for instance.
Burn it dry. Let me hear those scream.
Why am I using 2 shotguns? This one is simple.
Too many icons.
For now. Until I can put an extra 5 points into Thrill to Kill, because this will take a percentage of overkill damage that is over or above what is needed to kill your enemy is returned as health. That's a very powerful bonus. Again, we're not going to be able to max out each 3 trees, but I mean, like, I feel like this is a more responsible build. I mean, overall, we're gaining Fuel the Rampage, which increases our cooldown by 100% and increases our health damage bonus by 100%. I can now be damaged by teammates, however, but since we're not playing with teammates, it doesn't really matter. But taking damage recharges Buzzsaw Axe Rampage at a faster rate. Taking health damage increases the bonus even further. If it were up to me and we weren't really investing in Bloodlust and we skipped out on Blood Explosion completely, I'd be perfectly cool with that. It's just that Bloodlust is a really awesome tree. Now, if we're gonna focus on Rampage, 100%. This is the most viable way to build this entire... Why did I go with silence the voices? Sorry. My bad, guys. It's the smartest way to build this. So, increases melee damage further if your shields are down or your magazines are empty. So this basically can make your shield delay better. Now this increases max shield delay by up to 5 seconds. So again, because of my badass ranks, shield delay is minus 182%. So adding 5 seconds to each delay really, really kind of counteracts this, while still being somewhat reasonable for gameplay purposes. Anyway, taking damage recharges Buzzsaw Axe Rampage. We want to constantly go into Rampage. Returns 90% of overkill damage as health. This is pretty powerful, I'd say. Secondly, we'd want to I'd say you can do this a couple of different ways. While taking damage from an enemy while your shield is down adds a stack of Salt the Wound. So in other words, you can increase your bonuses while taking damage when your shield is down. This can be both good and bad because it doesn't increase damage resistance, it just increases that. Now I would say, personally with this, I would recommend going with Embrace the Pain, because you can add an extra 5 seconds. So it'd be 10 seconds of shield recharge delay, because again, my badass ranks really make it hard to play Krieg, and so getting that bonus would be great, because while the recharge rate is extremely quick, for instance, if I were to self-damage, and say I were to
Time to go
Well,
insane.
that's a bad example. Let's say I were to take a large chunk of damage, I can get my shield back still pretty quickly, which again, your shield can save you in UVHM. It's just it doesn't really matter because having a large capacity is great, especially having something that's like badass ranks having it in like the 300s or something crazy like that. Your shield's going to defend you a lot better, but the thing is, you're still going to lose it pretty quickly. All right, so then this allows us to then go into a secondary tree, if you will, and we're gonna go with Hellborn, because setting myself on fire will give me a 50% damage reduction just off the get-go, and I have a 70% self ignite chance. Killing an enemy with a elemental weapon and increases um, the chance to light myself on fire, while getting a kill also increases my chances of lighting someone else on fire or dealing elemental damage to somebody, increased by up to 400%. That is a massive bonus, because elemental damage types and doing elemental damage as a background bonus is such an important measurement of DPS and getting damage out. This is such a great skill. Um, this allows me to essentially increase the duration of the burn effects that I do to myself, while also applying effect to essentially reignite. So again, having these crazy bonuses is what makes the being on fire cool. The only problem is you're going to take damage. So if you find an elemental shield that is completely fire resistant, you can kind of counteract these effects, I'm assuming. I haven't tried it though. Stacks will not decay while you're on fire. While elemental status effect damaging is being done to enemies, you gain stacks of elemental elation. For each stack, it increases magazine size for each stack of elemental elation. So you can get up to a 5% per stack, with max stacks being 20. So you can get a 60% increase to your mag size, essentially. Elemental elation is not necessarily the best, honestly. Hell, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna completely skip out on elemental elation. It's powerful, but we're just gonna skip out on it. We're just gonna skip out on it, my friends. So follow me here. We're doing this, this, skipping these two, but grabbing Unleash the Beast. This is important because once you reach 33% health, essentially it will refill your health completely and you mutate and gain an extra 100% melee damage and a 50% damage reduction. This is very powerful because this is the best way to buzzsaw axe. Now we're going to want to try getting this one because it will add dynamite to the axe when I throw it. Bloodlust is pretty powerful, but again, I'm not a huge, again, if you're going for maximum power, sure. But anyway, all elemental status effects have a chance to light myself on fire. This is a must for this tree because slagging your enemies is so quintessential that being able to slag enemies and then deal elemental fire damage to them and stuff like that and just shred them quickly, and UVHM is such an important thing. But yeah, we're gonna grab this one. You can grab whatever you want from here, but how I would recommend to run this, because again, this is 73, so we can essentially we can get it down to here. So during Buzzsaw Axe Rampage, all damage you suffer is reduced um, for each stack of Bloodlust. So again, Bloodlust so dealing damage to enemies adds a stack of Bloodlust. Boom. 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 So in other words, yeah. So blood overdrive. Kill skill. Killing an enemy with a bullet increases your melee damage and reduces grenade fuse time for each stack of bloodlust. This is okay. This one is killing skill. Killing an enemy with a melee attack increases grenade damage for each stack of bloodlust, as well as I think bonus stacks. Okay, so you have an extra 5 skills. Okay. Personally, as to what I would invest in, I would say probably Salt the Wound, honestly. Again, it's not the best skill personally, and again, we have Bloodlust, we have its basic effects, we have Taste the Blood, which again plays mostly into Buzzsaw X Rampage. I'd say probably the next best thing is to add Salt the Wound, because again, it also affects melee damage. So, so again, as you guys can see, very powerful elemental. Again, it's really like Blood Explosion is very powerful. I can't seem to have good gameplay with it though, but other people report that they have great gameplay with it. Again, I like being set on fire. I think that's a really cool ability. Constantly taking shield damage.
Open your veins! What a fantastic blood boy I've become!
Yeah, I mean, again, these enemies are kind of sucky, you know, and this does not dictate at all what it's like to go against regular foes. I would argue regular foes are going to be more powerful than them fucking crabs. But yeah, no, Krieg is Krieg, you know, like some players are gonna do better with Krieg than they would other characters. More conventional characters like Maya and Axton and Salvador just seem to be more viable options for UVHM. I'm not gonna lie. Axton's kind of a bit of a stretch in that sense. Ignite chance increased by 61%. Again, you can ignite pretty easily. It's not hard to get ignited, which is kind of cool. We'll go straight to opportunity. I feel like this is an example of where Salvador kind of, or not Salvador, Krieg kind of sucks. Again, part of it is constantly rampaging.
Open your veins.
That's kind of hard to say for. Again, like I said, guys, it's been forever since I played Krieg. I haven't played Krieg in a year. Well, actually, in over a year. I haven't played this character in like 2 or 3 years. When I haven't played this character since the DLC since Commander Lilith DLC. I haven't played this character. I played it. I played him briefly. I'm like, yeah, we'll get him to max level 80. And I'll do a video when I get him there, and it just never happened. I just started grinding out Zero, which is much better, more viable build for UVHM. And then on top of that, it's like I kind of discovered that Zero is really squishy, and you know, it's like I've done so many different Zero builds. I've tried so many different methods. That's the character I'm gonna say I truly mastered in Borderlands 2. You know, like other characters are much easier to master than Zero. Zero, it really takes trying to figure out the game, like figuring out the methods. I'd say Two Fing's pretty powerful ability. You can fix certain weapons, but the problem with Two Fing is it applies to all weapons, and some weapons are just better just how they are without Two Fing. So making a Two Fing build and setting up that, you know what I'm saying. The other thing is Salvador. You kind of you don't need to really try as hard with that character. Once you get the right weapons and gear and learn some of the how to play that character, like as you guys can see, this overkill shit, alright, this thrill to kill, I do a lot of damage, so I get my health back really quickly. Yeah, so for me, survival, that's my one huge survival skill. Everything else is just pure carnage, you know, just pure damage, pure assault. I'd say another good survival skill equal to this would probably be this one, Numbed Nerves. Basically, while I'm on fire, I take 50% less damage. It gives me a reason to want to be on fire. So apart from that, blood, maxing out the, what do you call it, the Bloodlust tree makes more sense than this shit. I mean, you know, here's the thing though, right? This skill down here, okay? Percentage of elemental status effect damage done to your enemies heals you. This and Overkill working simultaneously side by side is just so overpowered that in the right circumstances, because you have to use elemental weapons in UVHM, so if you have another reason to use them because of being hyper powerful, like see how I'm on fire, alright, my damage is reduced by 50 fucking percent. So not only am I healing a whole bunch, but at the same time it's just like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking much damage, I'm healing more damage than I can take, and that's just so, I don't know, just so overpowered. It feels like you're cheating a little bit. Like look at this nonsense. Like, it's like literally you could be invincible and have all this crazy shit, especially when the shield is down. That's just wild. Oh man, no problem, dog. You know, I enjoy doing it, man. You know, like this game, true, like look at that, 2-second wins back to back, man. The Carnage is one of the best shotguns in the game. You know, I love putting out content. I love having a small fan base, people that watch, because I like interacting with you guys. I like talking with you guys and having real conversations with you guys, you know? Man. Boom, shakalaka. Yep, ooh. Yeah, I feel ashamed right now because I have some modded gear on this character. A long time ago, a friend dropped me a whole bunch of loot, and you know, I was much younger then, and you know, I don't like using modded gear. I'm gonna go find a better class mod, and sure enough, I'll equip it when I find one. suitable for this character. You know, because I'm just simply going off of like I'll be honest with you guys, for this melee build, honestly the the Terramorphous shield would probably be the best, because I'm pretty sure it does fire damage. It's like a fire nova and spike shield, which for Krieg that's screaming badassery because of his elemental effects and resistances. But not only that, but it's also a roid shield, so you know, the effect of having more melee damage when your shields are depleted plus the roid damage, especially at this level, is just so crazy to me. It absolutely is insane, you know. But the B shield is just so, I don't know, it's like such a, like for me, my excuse as to why I use it on this character is for that overkill damage. But honestly, I think we're going to switch it out for the Slayer Terramorphous. I think that's a much better shield. Like, I mean, it just makes more sense because, I mean, like, you get so many more benefits from it taking damage, and, you know, while I can have it do Nova effects, and those Nova damages are elemental in nature, it can pair really well with my elemental skill tree. Like, you know, just everything with this character playing him properly, like, Krieg can be OP. You know, there's a lot of people that told me that there's a lot of broken trees that don't really work as well as they would if they were fully, like, fully realized. But, you know, I think the Gearbox did a really good job with Krieg here. The only DLC character I don't like is Aurelia from the pre-sequel, and that's because one of her trees is entirely co-op based, which I'm not opposed to that. But if you're like me and you just like to play alone, you know what I mean? It just makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's much easier to do a solo build, but at a cost of an entire character's skill tree, it just makes no sense to me, at least logically. I don't know, man. Like, that's up to interpretation, I suppose. But anyway, like, here's the thing, we're about to level up here in a second. Like, no joke, no shit, we're about to actually level up here. Which reminds me, the next skill we need to acquire should probably end up being this skill, honestly. Raving Retribution. I'm not sure how overpowered it is. I haven't used it very much, not since I first originally max leveled this character to 72 to see what it can do, and I really can't. Oh man, that sucks. This Krieg's not really good with snipers. Oh well, I mean, if it was like a shotgun, assault rifle, you know what I mean? Sure. Pistol, sure. I think I have an unkempt herald somewhere in here. Like, I should. I probably don't. But I should. Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. You know, of fucking course I do. Of course I have an unkempt herald on this character. I haven't. Holy fuck, dude. I think actually the way I got this one, if I remember correctly, I farmed those torque vending machines, so I was just tired of killing whatchamaffuck's name, that one dude, that really annoying guy who rarely drops this thing, Savagely. Oh dude, this is fucking crazy. Fire rate's really not that great on this. But on this one at least, but destroy that shield. Come on. Yeah. There you go. No, what are you doing? Hey, I'm not through talking to you. One more, okay, there we go. Awesome possum. Drop down here. Got this. Man, we got 13 people watching. Let's go. It's awesome. I really wish, like, here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna set up I swear to God, here soon, when I get things figured out, I'm I'm gonna go back to my storage unit and try to find my capture card and my HDMI splitter so I can record like PS3 gameplay because I really like playing like the Fallout 3 in New Vegas on the PS3, and I could probably do the same thing on my 360. And like show you guys some Halo montages or like some Left 4 Dead gameplay. It'd have to be solo because I don't have Xbox Live and I don't have an account set up because I just, for whatever reason, it's just, I don't know why, but my internet does not want to work with it, and I think that they've shut it down pretty much. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. The beatdown. Yeah, let's go to the beatdown. Actually, let's go to Sanctuary. Let's put some of our modded bullshit up. I try not to use modded weapons. It's just not fair. It's like the game. Here's my issue with modded equipment and gear is that if the game, like, and granted, usually in games like Borderlands, I don't see anything wrong with it if other people do it, but if I do it, it's like, I kind of sort of hold it against myself a little bit. It's like if the game wanted it to exist, it would exist. So I'm weird like that. You know what I mean? Like the only mods that I accept are on like the OG Doom, and those are just extra levels. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, look at this Seraphim. This thing is modded because it has no element. And then this bullshit. Look at this. Error message error. Like this gun should never drop in the flavored text. Like, this is bullshit, guys. Come on, it detextured the derp. You fucking kidding me? What the fuck is this? Is this like a booster? I'm assuming that's been retextured. I think someone was telling me I can have infinite inventory if I big boom blaster. Dear Lord. Ugh. Oh my god. Modded shit. Well, we're putting it away, because you know what? I might have it, but you know what, man? I'm a better person than that. I can, with full certainty, and I only think I had this equipped because, well, I mean, 1.6 regeneration is pretty OP. Honestly, I ain't gonna bullshit you guys. And I might be able to say some smart ass shit, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys, and I think you guys deserve more respect than to be bullshitted. You know what I mean? I don't like the bullshit. Holy fuck, dude. I wonder if these are all modded because they're all the same. Well, damn near the same. But I have the Bearcat in every element. I don't know what it is about the fucking autumn camo on like purple rarity doll weapons. But low key, I really want to go to my local gunsmith and get an AR done in this exact camo scheme with the orange, the yellow, the white, black. Like, this is such a fucking cool camo. Honestly, I mean, can you guys blame me? I mean, this shit looks fresh. I don't know. I'm a camo guy. You know what I'm saying? I really do like the Godfingers skin though. Like, that is so cool. In the Becca, like, they look cool. I just, bottom line, they just look really cool. This looks really cool, and it sucks that it's an E-Tech pistol. It has a dumb effect. It has dumb gameplay, but it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty sexy in my opinion for a gun. Here it is, the fucking bandit butcher. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. The breath of Terramorphous can go in storage. I don't ever use it. What was I about to say? Oh yes. The Unforgiven, I think, is quite underrated. Granted, it does suck in lots of aspects. Okay, that's fair. People say because it can't shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger, it doesn't do the typical Jacobs nonsense. Okay, it sucks in that sense, but this thing does crazy ass critical hit damage, and with 0 and 2 Fang, you can make this pistol do things you couldn't even imagine it doing if not using 0. The other thing I really like is this gun. I think this is one of the best looking guns in the game, the Actualizer, and it's kind of funny because it has a reference to one of my favorite comedies. If you guys know Mike Judge, the creator of King of the Hill, he also did a little known movie called Office Space. And it just has one of the greatest douchebags in movie history, Lumberg. um, but he says, we need to talk about your TPS reports. This is DPS reports. I don't know why I figured that out. As soon as I picked it up, I read the description. I'm like, is that a reference to Office Space? You know what I mean? Because it's just one of those famous lines where he's just like, yeah, we need to talk about your DPS or your TPS reports. And it's just like, and as a little kid, or well, I didn't really watch it until like middle school. And that's like when I really got into like Mike Judge comedy, you know, because it's Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. That's when I started really watching all that stuff, and I discovered Office Space and thought that was a pretty funny movie. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking. If not, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those movies. It has Jennifer. How do you say her last name? Aniston or something like that. It has her in it, and it has other people in it. I mean, it's a pretty good movie. Um, it's just one of those movies, you know. It's a '90s movie. It's very '90s. Okay. Okay, okay, yeah, we cleared enough backpack space to put that relic up. Let's go farm for crystals, and then let's go buy a seraphim relic. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. Oh man, 2 more days. 2 more days. That's all it takes. You know, because so tomorrow and Friday, I'll be doing 12s. Okay? So, I mean, you know, that makes up for missing Labor Day, because I didn't work Labor Day. I'm okay with that, you know what I mean? But this weekend I'll be streaming more Borderlands content in preparation for Borderlands 4, which I'm not too excited about. I know some people might kind of, I know it's very like strange topic, but like I'm not, how do I explain this? Like I'm not excited for Borderlands 4, but I at least want to say I played it, you know what I mean? Given how I've played this whole franchise since 2009. You know what I mean? I missed out on the last couple Borderlands games, the Tales from the Borderlands 2, or the new Tales from the Borderlands, or whatever the hell, whatever stupid name they gave it. You know what I mean? Like, I missed out on that one, and I actually kind of liked the original Tales from the Borderlands, to be honest. And yeah, I think part of that is just because I'm not looking at it from a purely biased perspective. You know, because I played the Telltale Walking Dead series. I played their Batman series, and I enjoyed Tales from the Borderlands. You know, I think that it's stupid that they killed Scooter. That's the one thing I didn't like. Sorry, spoiler alert. Um, to a game that literally nobody likes. But you know, I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty good Telltale experience, honestly. Because whilst they're not the best gameplay, it's just, you know, you make choices and decisions. And there's a couple games like that, like Heavy Rain and like Detroit Become Human. You know what I mean? Like, there's games like that. I think Life is Strange kind of plays like that, if I remember correctly. Do I have my badass ranks turned off? No. Let's say a slow reload. Yeah, that's kind of stinky. It's slow. That's weird. That's lame. I'm done with that. I just had to reload it once to be like, yeah, I'm done with that. Oh man, that's fucking gold plated. That's top tier levels of SM dog shittery. Shittery? Is that even a word? Fuck no, it's not. I'm sorry, guys, man. My weaponized autism at late at night, it kicks in, man, and when it does, man. Sweet. Again, I'm only just doing. I know because we're not gonna unlock any badass ranks from doing Digi Peak, but I'm kind of curious to see maybe if it's gonna start me at OP7, because like I said, when I was OP8, it reset my gear to OP7 for whatever reason, all my gear for this character, and I'm able to use OP7 gear. But then again, I'm also not max level 80, so I don't know, maybe I didn't have, this was my only max level character when that DLC came out. But yeah, I used to play Krieg a lot way back in the day, and I had a whole bunch of level 40 characters, and one day I leveled up 0 to max level, and I'm like, yep, we're gonna grind out the badass ranks, and sure enough we are. One day we'll get, I mean, here soon we're gonna get Axed in there, because we got him in the upper level. Yeah, I think got him at like level 66. So I mean, like, you know, he's getting up there. Maya's, I think, level 55, so she's getting there. The next objective is Salvador, and after that, Gage. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fully committed, and it's just like, I quit dicking. Yeah, I used to dick around. I used to just play one character, grind a whole bunch of fucking loot that wasn't even good for that character, aka Krieg, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll just hold this for when this player or this character gets to this level, and I end up holding a fuckload of weapons and loot that was irrelevant by the time that, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Oh, brother.
I responded by emitting a high-pitched shriek until I passed out.
Wait a second. I wonder if... Well, no. I don't think so. Yeah, the B shield is kind of useless. We need to go get a Slayer Terramorphous. What if we can kill a Terramorphous, like in UVHM with non-badass levels, and just drop it for kill him with 0? That'd be fucking cool. That'd be based. Man, I swear to God, man, my patience is fucking, it's wearing on me. You know, for the last 3 months it's been now. 3 months it's been. I've been waiting for this 2-bedroom apartment to become available at the complex that I live at, because my lease is over, man. Like, I've already done my year lease, and I'm just like going month to month now, waiting on this 2-bedroom. Now that I got my car paid off, it's like I have extra money. I'm getting my promotion at work, so I'll be going to being an armed guard. So it's like, you know, I'll be making 20 an hour basically. Well, no, it's not. Well, it's 19. I ain't gonna bullshit you guys. It's 19 something an hour. I think 1983 an hour. 1980 something. You know. So I mean, 20 cents, a 20-cent raise next year, it'll be 20 an hour. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you know what I mean? Like, when I get started, it'll be in the upper $19 an hour range, but once we get our quarterly raise or whatever the fuck it is, it'll be 20. So I'm not stressed about it. And by the time that I get it, because they gotta go send me to go take my Opadas, which Ohio officer of the peace, you know, I don't care if you guys know I'm from Ohio. I mean, it doesn't, I don't really care. Some people might see that as like a lot of personal information. I don't really fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, once I get that and I'm licensed, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about it at all. I just gotta go fucking do it. But those classes take forever to book range time to go do a whole bunch of bullshit. I mean, some of these shooting techniques are fucking stupid. I mean, there's a fucking part of the fucking course where you have to hip fire, and I'm just like, what point is even there? Unless the person is at like point blank range, and it's like you have no other alternative, and that's the quickest way to deal with the threat. You know what I mean? Like then I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Like I just I don't know, I'm one of those like kind of insecure people. I'm like, well, I don't know where my bullets are going. I don't want them to hit random people. You know, each bullet fired's a potential lawsuit. That's kind of, you gotta look at it like that, through that lens. I don't know, I'm in just one of those high stress jobs where it's like any little mistake can be the end of your fucking career. It's a lot of stress, and you gotta deal with a lot of fucking stupid people. And generally speaking, I'm just gonna be brutally honest with you guys, security guards, we don't get a lot of fucking public respect, and quite frankly, we don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're kind of those annoying people that are like, yeah, can I check your identification? We just need to make, there's a process with everything. We're only doing our jobs. We don't try to be a nuisance to people, and I especially try not to be. There's a real, and that's the other thing, there's always a tone. Because you can usually tell the pricks that think that, oh, my Paul Blart badge and my fucking, my guard card somehow makes me a fucking cop. It fucking doesn't, you know what I mean? And I get it. People have interactions with those people, and that's fucking annoying. And I fucking get it. But at the same time, like, gotta understand, like, when regular people, like visitors especially, that we've never seen before, like, I've been here before, okay, we see hundreds of faces each day, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, at my site, it's just, the client, okay, the client for the site, right, the people that pay us, they want it done their way. If we don't do it their way, then guess what? Our company has to fucking either A, fire us, move us to another site because we didn't do something their fucking way, and that's just how it is, man. And it's like fucking, it's like people don't respect security. I don't think, they just think that we're like fucking Paul Blart, or they think that we're like we're here to fucking lost and theft or whatever from like Meijer or Walmart or whatever, wherever you shop. That's just not the fucking case, okay? At my site, we're quite literally responsible for the safety of the building. That includes, so basically we're a safety department and a security department and a logistics department. All fucking cluster fucked into one department. It's bullshit. We're in charge of every fire extinguisher. This means that we have to check the PSI on each gauge and make sure that it's properly up to date. And monthly we have to inspect them to make sure that they're like that. And not to mention the fact that the logistics department, shipping and receiving, okay, we have to look at trucks that come into our site, and we have to work on this fucking guard shack, which is basically those metal boxes, with those weird like little gate arms that you press that lifts the thing up, and it's like, yep, you can come in. We have to check each driver's ID, and we get trucker fuckers with attitude. We get trucker fuckers that can't speak English. We get trucker fuckers that fucking haven't showered because they don't stop at rest stops to shower. Some of them smell like complete shit. Some of them have attitudes. Some of them are cool people, because I can't lie to you, man. Part of my favorite part about the job is fucking talking to truckers and, hearing their perspective on things, because they're on the road all the time, you know what I mean? So it's like, they know about it, and they have their own fucking problems. But then sometimes they're like, well, I need a copy of the bill of lading. Well, when we, the security department, stamp that bill of lading, it's now our client's property. You know what I mean? Because that bill has to go back to shipping and receiving for them to verify it. They have to put it in a slot. It's a whole process, and it's just so unnecessary because it's not really our job. You see what I'm saying? Like, our job is access control, patrolling the building. I can see ensuring the safety of the building, but like, we're in charge of the fucking fire system. That means every PIV valve, every riser, every sprinkler head, everything, man, the whole fucking 9 yards. Like, I understand how like buildings work. I understand how fire systems work. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, like, we are undercut, we are underpaid, we don't get appreciation, people treat us like we're peasants and that we're a problem. It's like, bro, half the fucking shit we're doing is just unnecessary in the first place. And it's not necessary, and then we had to deal with our own bullshit, people that call off and work in 16-hour shifts, and like, we don't want to be there more than anyone else, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know. My job is miserable, man. I'll say this, man, if you guys have either a weird thing for punishment, or if you guys have great patience and can work with people that don't want to work with you, then I'd work security. But if not, if you can't handle that, then security is probably not for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I always hear about people like, you know, oh yeah, security sucks, man. They're so annoying, or you know, it's like we're just doing our job, man. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it's like we had to file a report when things happen. When employees get into a fight, we have to break it up. And believe it or not, it has happened. Okay, and I have had to break up fights. It is not fun. It is not something that is easy, because you got people that have this bravado about them that it's like, well, they disrespected me, I'm gonna fight them right here, right now, at this exact time, at this exact place. They're gonna lose their job either way. So the hardest thing with dealing with people like that is once they've elevated the situation to that point, they've already lost their job. You know what I'm saying? And we can't save their job at that point. No matter how hard we try, we can't. There's nothing we can do to save their job, even though I try my hardest to save people's jobs, man. Because the thing I hate the most is seeing people get fired for bullshit, you know what I mean? But it's just, I don't know. My job is so fucking stressful, dog. Like no bullshit, my job is stressful. And on top of that, now I'm going to be an armed guard, which means that should I ever have to use a weapon, I got to deal with the potential fact that I might have to shut down a mass shooting. And granted, you know, like using weapons in a defensive manner is not the problem. You know, the reason that I carry a gun is because we live in times where people just shoot places up. It doesn't matter. They're just shooting in a Walmart not that, like 2 years ago I was at. You know what I mean? And the girl I was dating at the time, she had a bunch of kids. She had like 4 kids. 3 of them were with us, the other one was at their dad's. And so like 2, not even kidding you, like 3 or 4 aisles down, I hear a gunshot. And the first thing that goes through my mind is getting out of there, because, you know, I got these kids with me. You know, if they weren't there with me at the time, who knows what would have happened. Yeah, I try not to think about it, but that was very traumatic. And you know what's crazy? The chances of that ever happening ever again are probably never going to happen again. It's probably the only time in my life where I've ever been that close to gunfire that's not at a gun range. But then again, you know, you never know. People get fired, then they go postal. So it's just one of those things that, I don't know, it's fucked up when it happens. And, you know, it's being vigilant, being on top of things. And it sounds a lot easier than what it is. People aren't situationally aware, and they go with their feelings and not their gut, you know. They try to make logical sense out of things that aren't even logical.
I may have just lied to you.
But either way, when I become an armed guard, you know, like I said, I'm only doing this because A, it raises the pay rate, and 2, I'll feel protected. You know what I mean? Like, I have a level 3 plate. Awesome. And I get to carry I get to carry a gun. And pepper spray and a few other things. Ideally, you know. But the thing is, like, you know, it's not some willy-nilly, yeah, if they fuck around, they'll get shot. No, that's stupid. And if you ever tell anybody that, you're going to probably not get the job, and you're probably going to be blacklisted. I don't even know if that's a thing, but probably is. I don't fucking know. But yeah, no, it's there's a use of force continuum that you have to strictly follow, because the thing is, despite the fact that, yeah, you're an armed guard, yeah, you're an armed presence, and yeah, you have a bit more authority than regular security guards in certain circumstances, you're still not a cop. And that's the important thing. You know, it's like, the confusing thing about security is jurisdiction, because when it comes to, like, law enforcement, yeah, when people get injured, we call ComSec, which is our corporate security. and they're all the way in California, and we're all the way in Ohio, so there's a time zone difference. And anytime anything happens, whether the fire alarm goes or whether there's a tornado drill, or doesn't matter, if something happens, they have to know about it because they have to file out a corporate report, as well as they have to file out a local report. It's just there's a whole bunch of shit, and it's so confusing. But like once you know what you're doing, you know you're good. But sometimes it's hard to know what you're doing, especially if you get shitty training. And I think that's 30% of why we can't keep people, is because everyone's quitting because nobody wants to work the overtime, nobody's properly trained, and then when they get corrected and they're like, well, I wasn't trained, and it's like, well, people have been fired for less, and it's like, you know, like, I don't know, management has to change, the way we train people has to change, um, the fucking certain people need to be fired, especially a certain supervisor that doesn't really do his job. He just sits on his fucking phone. I don't fucking know, man. Like, it's unnecessarily stressful, man. Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. I don't know. I don't know why I'm ranting about my job. I mean, I'm lucky to have a job, you know. I'm proud that I have a job. Might not be the best job in the whole world, you know what I mean? But at least it's a job. And that's my whole thing, guys. I no longer care about trying to make the most money, driving the most expensive vehicle, wearing the most expensive... None of that matters to me. You know? All that really matters is that somehow, some way, I find satisfaction in living. That's just... That's it, man. Plain and simple. And I can't stress this enough. The most satisfying thing in life is just, for me right now, it's just being independent. You know, it's like at 23, I've been on my own for a year, living on my own. I got my own place. I'm in no serious debt. You know what I mean? Like I don't make a lot of money. You know, right now we're only making $16 an hour. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not rich, but you know what, man? You don't have to be. You don't have to be rich to be happy. You just have to find satisfaction, to find things that make you happy. And for some people, then, you know, that they're not happy until they have everything in life that they want, and then guess what? They'll never be happy. They'll be miserable in the pursuit of chasing things that are out of their reach. And honestly, you can't help those people. What the fuck am I talking about? Guys, I'm telling you, man, my weaponized autism, man, when it's late at night like this, man, I'll talk about all kinds of deep philosophical shit, bro. I can't even explain it. I can't even rationalize it. I don't want to be in the gunner seat. There we go. Awesome possum.
Snap your neck if you don't have one! I wonder if I plant you in
Before I get too ahead of myself, I'm gonna quickly check the time because, like I said, man, I've been going off minimal sleep here lately. Oh, my fucking legs. My whole fucking body hurts, man. Dude, I can't even explain it. Okay, good. I still have some Pepsi. Yeah, I went to this store. I'm putting away some groceries real quick. I bought some soda. It was buy two, get one free, 12 packs. So that's what I did. Holy dog shit, Batman. Let's see. Okay. Awesome possum. I think I'm gonna buy another plate carrier, even though I don't need one. I'm gonna set up a different rig. I don't know, man. There's always like new tactical gear I want to try out. Like I genuinely, man, I'm like a fucking adult child. When it comes to like guns, tactical gear, and shit like that, like I'm a fucking child still, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always want to try out new gear. Alrighty. I really want to try cryotherapy. Like that sounds fucking weird, but I really want to try it, man. I want to see what effect it might have. Either way, I don't know. Security is stressful, but you know I've been doing it for 3 years. You know, like it's definitely a job that requires maturity. I mean, there are people that I'm surprised still have a job, but you know, if they can keep a job, I can keep a job. You know what I'm saying? It won't be me that brings down the company. You know what I'm saying? How many quests did it say I could turn on? Medical Mystery, Monster Mash Part 2. Let's go turn those quests in. Tell you what, instead, how about let's go to 0 and let's get ourselves a Slayer, a Terramorphous shield, or the Haida Terramorphous. I'm sorry. My eyes are fucking. I'm getting tired as fuck, man. But yeah, I really want to do. I really want to do. What you fuck it. I'm gonna go to my local gunsmith and have him do a custom camo on an AR, and maybe I'll do it with a Glock as well, and that way have it as like a pair. But the Borderlands doll, ultra rare camo. Oh, never mind. I got Loot Hunter to set my commando till level 70. So Loot Hunter is kind of funny. It was a legendary only playthrough, so I had to farm the rules where I can only use the starter pistol until I can get a legendary. So the first one I got, first try was the Hornet, and then I farmed for the grenade mod, so that way I could have a decent grenade mod, and so on and so forth. Farm the Kerblaster and other things. Oh, dude, this is fucking crazy. Let's just absolutely annihilate the bunker real quick. Like, dude, no fucking way. No fucking way. So, a level 12 Logan's gun. You guys know I'm cheesing the game with this. Oh man, that's insane.
Nothing like a good sale. I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough.
So the reason why the lower level for this weapon is so OP is you can just endlessly shoot yourself and get oh, we're using the Neogenator, sorry. Use the B shield. Just shoot myself and get rockets back for this baby, and it just absolutely annihilates everything. I want to see. I wonder if I can one-shot the bunker with this. Holy fucking! Oh my gosh, we gotta try it. Bonk! Come on, fuck ass! Get out of the way. Alrighty. Oh damn it! I missed. Okay, yeah, no, this weapon is straight up dog shit. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. That was straight up dog shit. I can't make that shit up. But this camo, guys. This on like a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 with like Magpul furniture, possibly a Trijicon ACOG. Oh, imagine getting the Trijicon ACOG done up in this camo as well. I mean, it would be like the one of one, the only one in existence, and I can fucking literally say I have a real life pearlescent because it's literally the only one in existence, and I can literally sit and think about it, brag about it, laugh about it, and fucking go to bed and wake up the next day and fucking realize I'm the only one in the world to possibly ever have it, and that would be fucking cool. Also, guys, my weaponized autism just kicked in there. That whole thing was pure weaponized autism. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna... In fact, you know what, guys? We're just gonna pretend like that whole, like, spiel about having the only weapon, an AR with a Trijicon ACOG, with the doll ultra rare camo. We're just gonna pretend like that just never happened, alright guys? You know, the way it just did that kind of reminds me of Boba Fett's spaceship, the Slave One from Star Wars. You know how it like flips up on its, like, how it flips up like that, and it's like, yeah, it's fucking cool. I think it's kind of weird that I could say I'm a Star Wars fan, but the truth is, the only Star Wars game I ever like really played were like the Lego Star Wars games. I think that's great. I don't know. I just preferred watching the movies, I guess. It's so weird. I still haven't played any like the newer ones either. I just don't care to be honest with you guys. That's sucky. That's really sucky. But it's just I can't lie. I think it's crazy still to this day. As an adult, I still build Lego Star Wars sets. You know, I might have an actual problem. You know, this might be an actual problem. The last Lego set I ever put together was Lego DeLorean from Back to the Future. You know, because as a kid, that was always my dream car, was a DeLorean. You know, I still to this day I'm fascinated by it. Even though, yeah, as a car guy, I can say with full certainty the car's dog shit, you know, in terms of performance. But you know, I gotta say, you know, like I don't blame John DeLorean. You know what I mean? Like you know, he for GM, you know, he designed the Pontiac Firebird and the GTO. You know, those are bangers. You know, I mean, if you're a GM fanboy, you know what I'm talking about. You can't deny those cars are bangers. But it's like, I'm a Ford guy, you know what I'm saying? And like, people sometimes laugh at that, but it's like, you know, the Ford GT40 is definitely my favorite car of all time. And it's equally matched with the Ferrari F40. So I like both the Ferrari and the Ford, despite the fact that I'm a Ford guy. And the Ford versus Ferrari rivalry was really good. But I just think the Chevy versus Ford rivalry makes more sense. I think it's more fair to compare, or to compare the rivalry of Ferrari and Lamborghini over Ford and Ferrari, because despite the fact that yeah we beat Ferrari at Le Mans, um, you know the sad reality is without Carroll Shelby, that whole victory would not be possible. Without Ken Miles, that whole thing would not be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it would not, I said would not be awesome, it just would not have happened. I'm sorry. It just would not have happened. It just would have not take place. But they made history. And I think still to this day, my favorite car of all time, like if I were to own any vehicle, be a 2005 Ford GT in blue with white racing stripes on the sides and on the hood. Yeah, that's my dream car of all time. Hands down, blue with the white pinstripe, or blue with the white racing stripes. Honestly, the only other car that could possibly surpass that in terms of aura is any Ford GT of any year, in any, you know, with the Golf livery. I think that's aura. Okay, that thing farms aura. Sitting in the garage, it farms so much aura, because nothing's more badass than the garage door opening and just seeing that just sitting there. That's fucking badass. I'm sorry, that's just fucking badass. That's badass. There's just no other way to explain it or rationalize it. Oh man. For sure, it does. And you know, it's one of my favorite cars of all time. Like, hands down, any Ford GT, again, favorite car of all time. I think it is one of the sexiest cars of all time. You know, and like, when it comes to like Ford, you know, like we don't have a lot of other brands. Like Chevy had GMC, Buick, Pontiac, Cadillac. Ford has Mercury and Lincoln, and quite frankly, those work just fine. To tell you the truth, you know, like Ford had a lot of great British, I guess you could say, partners, collaborations. You know, if I'm not mistaken, because Ford had a very brief Formula racing history in Formula racing, and to be honest with you, they had great records, honestly, for how short they were really in it. They started the Red Bull Racing, the Oracle race team, and then Honda got it. I'm not a Honda guy by no means. I don't like Hondas. I don't care for them. Now, does that mean that, do I shit on everybody that owns a Honda? Of course not. A car's a car, and you know, it's, if it gets you there, you know, I'll give them this. They're reliable. Doesn't mean I fantasize about them. Like the NSX, you know, and here's the craziest thing. I've seen them up close at car shows and stuff like that. You know, they're nice and all that, but I just don't really care for them. It's still just, and I hate to be that guy because I seem like such a douche, but it's still not a Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's still just a Honda, and I'm the same way with Lexus. I gotta say, they're very reliable. Do I think a Lexus is probably a better purchase than like a Mercedes? Depending on the buyer, that could be a very huge factor. You know, I like BMW. I like German engineering. I think that, you know, I'm not going to fault the car for not being reliable if I'm not able to afford the maintenance. If I'm not capable of maintaining the vehicle, then I shouldn't have the vehicle. Bottom line. And if I can't afford to maintain it, then it's just a garage piece that sits there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just where it's at. Now, I live in an apartment. I don't have a garage. That's why I drive a Ford Explorer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to have some fancy car just sitting out in the open. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't trust the world. Now, I am going to be getting a Mustang, you know, and I'm saving up lots of money for a down payment. I'm going to probably have to finance it because I spent a large chunk of my savings on paying off my Explorer because I don't like debt. I don't think that debt is a great thing, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be making close to 40K a year, so it's like, you know, I'll make more money, and I'll have more. I'm working with a $10,000 down, so I could realistically probably buy a Mustang. But I lost a lot of street credit with what I said I want because people questioned me. They're like, "Why do you want a 6-cylinder Mustang? Why not get the V8?" You know, I still have to insure this thing, and the other thing is I don't have an actual garage. So the issue is if someone steals it, they just stole my V8. And it costs more to insure, and the prices are much higher. The 6-cylinder is more affordable, and that cuts into my reasoning, which again, to some people is pathetic, but to me it's realistic. I would have 2 cars, so I have a work vehicle, so I have a daily vehicle, right? And then the other car is just for Sunday driver, and then guess what? I'll do a very short-term limit. I'll do probably like 4 or 5 years. Pay extra, build up my credit again. This time I'd probably do it with the full term, probably, to get that credit history. You know what I mean? I don't like credit. I like the Dave Ramsey way of doing things. The only problem is I'm a security guard. I don't make a lot of money. So I'd rather not make a lot of money, but have great credit so that people take me seriously, especially when it comes to buying a home. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about, guys. That dog camo. Look at that. I fucking like that shit, bro. I like that autumn camo. Dude, it's so fucking badass, dude. I don't know what it is. But he did not drop the hide of Terramorphous, which leads me to want to refarm him. Now the question is, can we just sound the horn? Oh, what the fuck? But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want a automatic 6-cylinder Mustang. Yeah, it makes me laugh telling people that, but it's like, you know, with manuals, I have to trust the previous owner didn't fucking. I have to trust that the previous owner didn't burn the clutch. I have to trust that they downshifted and upshifted properly. And on top of that, like if they do burn the clutch, that's like that could be up to like $5,000 in repairs. You know what I mean? I'm assuming, because I've never had to replace a clutch. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what it would cost. I'd have to do more research, but I just don't have the money to pull out of my ass to fix a car, especially one that I might be paying upwards of like 20K for. You know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense to me. Like to me it just makes no sense. I think that's just the fact of the matter. It's the cheapest option. It's still a nice. It's Mustangs are still nice. You know what I mean? Like even if it is just a 3.7 liter 6-cylinder, there's nothing wrong with 6-cylinders. Like the Toyota Supra, the 2JZ is a 6-cylinder. You know what I mean? Like a lot of cool BMWs are 6-cylinders. Like my BMW, my 328i. Again, you know, it's not a. You know, by no means is it an M3, right? It's not the top of the line car, but you know what, man? For me, growing up in a household where, you know, my mom had a 2001 Mustang, okay? And so I'll tell you guys this brief story, okay? When I say my mom, I really mean my aunt, right? Because when my biological parents died, my parents went all the way down to my aunt and uncle went all the way down to Texas to come and get me because my biological mom and dad both died shortly after I was born. So my aunt and uncle raised me. I call them mom and dad out of respect because to me they raised me. They were my mom and dad from the time I was only 6 months old when all this happened. But they went to Texas in my mom's 2001 Mustang. It was a 6-cylinder. little red car. It was fucking cool. But that was my mom didn't have a minivan or an SUV. She had a fucking Mustang. That was fucking cool. But the first 3 or 4 days, I think it took him it was a 4-day trip, I think. Or it might have been a 3-day trip. But however long it was, that was the first time I spent with the parents that would come to raise me, was in a Mustang. So to me, the Mustang it's kind of, I don't know, it's sentimental in a way. It was going to be my first car, but my uncle wrecked it. And so I've always wanted a Mustang. When I was first looking for a car, I had my mind set on the Mustang. And unfortunately, when I got there, a mechanic had bought it. It was a 2006 Mustang GT, so it was a V8. It was nice. Had, for 2008 or whatever year it was, it had only, I think, 60,000 miles on it. I worked to save up some money for it because they were selling it at a reasonable price. And when I get there, a mechanic had bought it just 3 or 4 hours before I arrived. And so the online website still showed it listed because, of course it did, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a few hours before I even got there. And I ended up walking the lot. And out of the corner of my eye, I was playing a lot of, at the time, I was playing a lot of, like, Need for Speed. And growing up, my favorite Need for Speed game was Need for Speed Most Wanted. And that game, like, the hero car was... Normally in the PS2 era Need for Speeds, a lot of the hero cars would be JDM cars. And I'm not a huge Japanese car guy. I don't really care for a lot of them. I really like German sports cars. So, when Need for Speed Most Wanted, I really liked that BMW M3 GTR. That thing was kick-ass, man. But sure enough, man, like, I see a 3 Series, and surprisingly, that's my first car. I'm not bitching about it. In fact, I overhyped the car. I loved the car. I really liked the interior of the thing. It really felt like a fighter jet, you know what I mean? Like, it was just fucking cool. And so, I don't know, I loved it. It was awesome. Coolest car for a first car. All-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, coupe, sports package, so it had a lower suspension. Dude, that was fucking cool, man. And unfortunately, just a year later, I get my first near-death experience wreck, and unfortunately, that was the end of that car. And I had to go get me another car, which ended up being my Ford Explorer that I currently drive. And you know what, man? Honestly, I hated SUVs. I thought they were very lame, and for the most part, they kind of are. But there's just something to just packing all my rifles in the back of my Explorer and going to the range and, or wherever. Camping, it's just a convenience, honestly, and it's a 7-seater vehicle. It's 3-row, so it's way more car than I need. And the only problem I don't like about it is the gas mileage. I just don't get the MPG I would desire for the trip I have to make. I drive an hour to work each day. An hour-long drive for 12 hours, just a 12 to 16-hour shift of dealing with absolute dog shit. So again, make wiser choices than me, folks. You know what I mean? I make stupid choices. But you live and you learn. And I'm in that stage where I'm doing my comeback, right? Yeah, it is what it is. And I'll be able to achieve my goal here soon. I'll have me one of my dream cars. It won't be the best of the best, and I don't want the best of the best right now. I'm still young. I still have time. You know what I mean? I'd rather get what I can afford. And if I lose the car, if I wreck the car, if somebody steals the car, it's not the best of the best. So I'm not going to whine and bitch and complain about it if something does happen to it, I'm just being realistic. It's cheaper to insure. There's, the parts are a little bit cheaper because they're less high performance. So I could realistically keep the car in a nicer condition. I can keep it well maintained without killing my bank account, which is a huge factor. And I'm poor. Well, I wouldn't consider myself to be poor, you know what I mean? I'm not poor if I can pay off my car, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. I make less than what a lot of people do, and you know what? That's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that, you know what I mean? As long as I'm not doing dumb people shit. And awesome possum. Alright, we're back. But yeah, sorry, my headset died. As I was saying, as long as I'm not doing dumb people stuff and like buying things I can't truly afford, which again, I can't truly afford a Mustang, so if I could afford it, I wouldn't have to get a loan for it. But unfortunately, that just seems like the path that we're gonna take here. So I still want to rebuild some of my credit a little bit. So I want really, really good credit before I go buy a house, so that I get a decent mortgage rate. Which again, I don't know what I'm hoping to accomplish with that, because again, I'm moving into a 2-bedroom apartment. I'll be starting a second channel that will mostly be focusing on weapons and tactical gear. I've mentioned it all the time, but the truth is, you know, like I own 25 guns. There's a lot of personality that goes into gun channels. You know, I'm no Brandon Herrera, right? That dude's a legend. But you know what, man? Legends start small. And, you know, like I've started out as a really small channel back when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like I have like 30-something people watching me, which to me this is a really high viewer count. You know, I don't get much higher than this. And that's okay, you know, I don't really want I don't want 1 million people watching me. You know, it's a lot to keep up with. But I like a tight-knit community, a group of people that like what I have to offer, right? Which is my personality, and it's cool because, you know, you can really build decent connections with people. You know, it's great having like community. You know, especially one that spreads positivity and not bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I feel like, yeah, there's enough negativity in the world. You know, if I can make someone's day, that's awesome. But yeah, no, guys, I'll be starting my gun channel soon. I want to get going to invest in a workbench to actually work on weapons pretty well. So I don't have any real good tables here, so I've had to downsize a lot to move into this 1-bedroom that I'm currently in, and so I use my kitchen table to clean and work on my weapons, and it's just not a suitable space, you know what I mean? Like my room is just, I have rifles and shotguns, and I have everything. Like I have so many guns, I ran out of safe space in my gun safe, and I don't like, I can fill my whole room up with gun safes, and it's like I'm kind of running out of space, you know. So it's like, that's why I need a 2-bedroom, so I can have me my own gun room, basically. It's a very nice problem to have. But then again, it's like I'm also going to be investing in a bigger space with there's this really cool safe I was looking at that has a cabinet attached to the side for me to place all my ammo and possibly night vision optics and other stuff, you know what I mean? I'll be investing in that, and I'm going to buy a gear rack to put my current plate carrier rig that I'm running right now. I'll put that on there. I'm going to invest in the tactical, like a ballistic helmet, and other gear. Yeah, like a gear cabinet would be kind of cool, because it would be like I'd have shelf space inside the cabinet for all my different holsters, you know, and that's the thing. That's the real trick, really. It's multiple holsters, you know, like some have higher retention levels for duty carry, conceal holsters for personal use. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, yeah. There's just, I don't know, man. Under shoulder holsters and shit. Like, you know, I like the Beretta 92 FS. You know, like a lot of people like Glocks. I get it. You know, I run Glocks too, but my weapon of choice will always and has always been the Beretta 92 FS. Despite a lot of people saying it's really heavy, I don't mind. You know, I like the performance. I like the style of it. I like the way the recoil feels. Grip is perfect for my hands. I have very large hands. I'm only like 6'1". You know what I mean? I'm only 6'1". So, you know, it's nice having gun with decent grips. You know, but I like everything guns. You know, like I don't really care. Like hell, if I can have Makarovs, I'd run those too. You know what I mean? Like, speaking of which, there might be a real possibility I might be adding one to my collection. Yeah, you know. I like CZs. You know, I do like CZs, and I do like the SIG P226, and I like the CC75. Black Ops 1 fan. But man, dude, my weaponized autism, man, when it comes to guns, cars, anything mechanical. Don't get me started on airplanes or tanks. So I'm a War Thunder guy myself. You know, I just need to shut the fuck up sometimes, man. So I can just go on for hours, man. It's crazy bullshit, man. It's crazy nonsense. But yeah, when I have a house with a garage, that garage would be like a secondary man cave. You know, I'll have all my, I don't know. It'd be really cool if I could have like a Shelby GT500 and have one of those like Shelby posters. Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. I don't know. There's a couple dream cars that I have on my radar. Obviously that I'll never own, but I'd say it would start with the McLaren F1. You know, it's powered by a BMW engine, of course. You know, the McLaren F1, 1994 F1, McLaren F1, not the Formula Racer, but the 3-seater sports car. The Salina 7, beautiful car, absolutely beautiful. I loved the Salina 7. Ferrari F40, Lamborghini Countach, because it's classic. And I obviously like the Ford, you know, GT40, and obviously, as we all know, the Shelby Cobra is the original Shelby Cobra. That thing's a collector's item. And it's crazy. Still to this day, you know, I've seen. Have you guys seen those crazy videos where like the hot girls, so they're like, "What would you rather have? 2 of these Ferraris or one of these old rusty Shelby?" And they're like the Ferraris, and it's like, yeah, someone declined $43 million for this rusty Shelby. And it's like, what the hell? It's like that's, you know, they're so confused. But yeah. I mean, I would say, I seen recently that they did a real life rendition of the M3 GTR from Need for Speed Most Wanted. That's a dream car for sure. I know most people would probably say, oh yeah, Fast and Furious, Brian's Nissan Skyline R34. I get it, that's a really cool car. You know, I'd say out of all the Japanese cars, it's probably one of the best looking ones. You know, I have nothing bad to say about the Nissan Skyline R34 other than it's extremely overrated. Like most of them. I mean, the thing that made Japanese cars really cool, in my opinion, was they were like the underdog kind of cars. You know, they were cars that you or I can afford. You know, they were more affordable than, say, the Ferrari or the Lamborghini or the whatever the fuck. Um, you know what I mean? And they were tunable. Like, you can actually work on them. They're simplistic. They're reliable. They had all these great cool factors going for them, and like the tuner scene was in the 90s was really cool. So me being born in 2002, you know what I mean? Like the Fast and Furious movies were like, you know what I mean? Like the best ones were like 1 and 2 in my opinion, and Tokyo Drift, and it's like, yeah, no, man, that was just, yeah. And then you had all these like Midnight Club and Need for Speed and all these other fucking racing games on the PS2. Um, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, those cars are really popular. Or those types of vehicles, the JDM cars, but it's like, my personal favorites are like the Mazda RX-7 and the Mitsubishi Eclipse, and of course the Nissan Skyline R34, and that's it. Like, really, that's it. Unfortunately, it's a very narrow, you know, I like Nissans. There are some Mitsubishis I like, and then there are very seldom, very few other cars. I appreciate the Honda / Acura NSX. I appreciate what they were trying to do, and I just would rather have a Corvette, honestly, of the same year. But that's just me, you know. Hey, what do I know? But everyone, you know, it's you know, everyone has their tastes. You know what I mean? Like, there are probably some people that really love um, the uh, the Toyota Supra. It's powered by that amazing 2JZ engine. Um, Again, really cool car, man. It's just not. I just don't like the way it looks. That's it, man. I don't like the taillight design. I just don't. I just don't like the car the way it looks. I'm not denying that it. I'm not saying it's not fast. I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm not saying it's a piece of shit. I'm just saying I just don't like the way it looks. I'm not that interested in Toyotas, honestly, or Hondas, really, for that matter. I just don't feel like I. Granted, like I said, you know, I was born in the early 2000s, so a lot of the Hondas that like people had were like 90s Hondas and stuff like that. And it's like those cars, yeah, they're very reliable, but like they're just the interiors are built like shit, man. I can't lie, man. I have to be honest. Like there's just not a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes people like that, you know. And I'm not gonna like bash them. You know what I mean? Simplicity, you know, 4 wheels and an engine's all you really need. But at the same time, for me, you know, I'm one of those people that love complicated shit. So like there's, I don't know, man. There's something to a BMW interior. There really is. Because for me, honestly, it's if a vehicle can make driving fun, that to me is a good car. So however you experience driving and whatever it is that you find fun about driving, as long as it makes you enjoy it. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm probably gonna play as a soldier class. It's a stereotypical answer. But that's probably what I'm gonna max out first. Honestly, man, if it's only one vehicle that I hate ruthlessly without any kind of like reason to hate the vehicle, probably be the Mazda Miata. Like, I just hate those things, man. Like, I had a cousin that had one. I'm 6'1". That's a tiny fucking car, man. That's a tiny fucking car. Okay, that's a tiny car. I you know what I mean? I'm 6'1". That's too small for me, man. Genuinely, I couldn't drive that thing comfortably. My legs would hurt. I'd have to move the seat all the way back. You know, my head would be fucking poking out the fucking... I'd be too big for it. And ultimately, that's why I don't like a lot of like expensive sports cars. They're not built for people like me. You know what I mean? That being said, you know, if I had to force my giant ass into a little car, a sports car, it would definitely be a Ford GT40. Like I don't care if I'm too big. I'd get my legs sawed off just to fit in the damn thing. I'd get surgery to shorten myself just to fit in the thing if I absolutely had to. Of course, I would never do that because I'd never be able to afford a GT40. Unless, no, I'm just kidding. Being realistic, I probably don't have $500,000 fucking dollars because I'm a fucking brokey. And that's okay. I don't need a GT40 to be happy. I got Borderlands and I got 25 guns that I'm building bigger collections. So I don't need a sports car to be happy. But I will be getting a Mustang. Again, it won't be a Coyote, unfortunately. As much as I would love to have one, I live in an apartment, and I'll be living in this apartment for a while until they can give me a 2-bedroom. In which case, I still won't have a garage to park it, so it's like I don't want the most expensive Mustang, because if it gets stolen, or if someone keys my car, or if someone fucking vandalizes it, you know, like, it's going to be exposed to the elements. I could put a car cover over it, but it's still not the same as... And don't let anyone ever tell you that, oh, just put a car cover over it. It's just not the same. And I'm one of those people that are like kind of... Ooh, hold on 1 second. What's your view on the Buick? I currently own a... Buicks are great, man. Like, I'm a Ford guy, but you know what, man? Buicks, like, 90s Buicks, 90s well, I can't speak for all 90s Cadillacs. Like the what was it, the Chevy Cavalier? Those things suck, but they're nice cars, man. Like, Buicks are very nice. I was actually really considering last year buying a Buick LeSabre, because I found one for $2,000. Like, you know, you can found a 1996 Buick LeSabre for like $2,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're reliable. They're fucking reliable. I like them. Like I said, you know, I used to really not like Japanese cars because I just found them to be too overrated. But like I said, you know, like I like the Mazda RX-7. I like the Mitsubishi Eclipse. I like the Nissan Skyline, the R34. It's overrated. I'll admit it. It's overrated. Factory, they're not very fast. Factory, you know, but they're very tunable. You can do a lot to them. They're very reliable for being a sports car, and they're very stylish for being a Japanese car. Which again, you know, like when my whole thing is, I'm not a real car guy, man. I'm really not. I was seeing these posts the other day that I was seeing this thing, and this car guy's like, you're a real car guy if you love minivans. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a real car guy then. I'm like, I absolutely hate minivans. I think they really destroyed the car world. You know, the minivans and the SUVs, they got it to where everything had to be an SUV, and we got rid of actual cars. No one makes sedans. BMW still does, and unfortunately, I've seen their last 3 series, and I'm done with BMW. I'm done with their bullshit, unfortunately. A great German brand. I love the German engineering. It is over-engineered, and that's what I love about it, is that they are well made by very intelligent people. I think that people that criticize BMW for not being reliable, I feel like that's just I think that's really just a misunderstanding. People saying that are people that have bought second-hand BMWs, and rich people buy them. They wait until their warranty expires, then they drop them, because when that warranty expires, that's when a lot of those parts go bad. And BMW knows that. It's part of their sales tactics, right? That might be a conspiracy theory, because some BMWs are very reliable. But no, man, for the most part, you know, there are Mercedes-Benz, they can reach up to 1 million miles, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Mercedes-Benz, you can look it up, man. has the 1 million mile club. So, you know, German cars can make it to those crazy high mileage. You know what I mean? And still be efficient. So, by no means do I think the Germans make unreliable cars. I think they make high performance cars that are they're well engineered, they're very complicated, and they use overcomplicated systems that not many people are used to dealing with, right? And the problem is, it's like, yeah, it's not common, so the solution to fix, you know, not many mechanics want to work on them, because working on shit that's just way more difficult than it needs to be is a pain in the ass. You know, and you know, they have people that can work on them. You know, you just have to go to those people and they'll charge you more, and it's expensive. But again, if you can't afford the maintenance of the vehicle, you probably shouldn't have it. And so it's like, example, my BMW 320i, it's nothing special. It's not a sports car. Well, I mean, it kind of is. It fits the classification of a sports car. It's not a high performance sports car, so to speak, because it's only a 328i. It's just had the lower to the ground suspension because it was a sports package. It's a coupe, so it's a two-door, 6-cylinder, all-wheel drive. So it's not rear-wheel drive. So I didn't get the good experience of a rear-wheel drive. But you know, it's a nice luxury car with a sporty experience, right? When I wrecked that vehicle, it literally, when I got the quote to fix it, it was over 20 grand, which was like twice what I paid for the car. So it's like, that's a complete net loss. You see what I'm saying? I even do a whole lot of damage. What's crazy? My car went airborne, and literally I was able to drive it home. It got me home on a flat tire. The rear passenger side tire was completely flat. I had a fucking baseball size hole. Yeah, it was bad. And the front fender, the hood, all that shit's just out of place from the impact. My strut was fucked up on my front passenger side tire, or passenger side wheel. And it's just like, the whole thing was just extremely expensive to fucking fix. Granted, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to accept the fact that it's just a net loss. That's it. It's just too expensive to fix. And on top of that, the engine, I think I damaged the lifter somehow. So what I'm describing is just basically just body work and some suspension work, replacing a control arm, buying a new wheel, and doing a whole bunch of other shit, not to mention the engine work that I had done, which I had the car drivable. It was partially drivable. I was repairing it myself, but when we looked at the lifter, after replacing all that other shit, was extremely expensive, but still. I mean, there was nothing else I could do. I was investing so much money into trying to get the thing rebuilt, but it cost more than what I was willing to put into it in the end, and I wasted money trying to fix it when I should have just had it totaled out. But yeah, that's a topic for another day, man. If you truly love something as much as if you really love a car as much as I did, you know, you might tell yourself, yeah, we'll fix it piece by piece. We'll get it done one day. And fortunately for me, on my budget, that day is going to be like 30, 40 years from now, and I'm just like, I'm not going to waste my time on this car. Like, I really had to rationalize it, but I'm like, dude, this is just a 328i, man. You can buy these things a dime a dozen, man. Unfortunately for me, and unfortunately at the same time, the previous owner took great care of the car. They kept us. They had a leather book, okay, with like a leather cover. Page to page, it was just service history. The quality was just immaculate. and they kept up to everything, every little thing. They replaced a fog light and it was in there, and the price, the invoice, to everything. They just documented everything with the vehicle. So it's like the previous owner loved that car and never smoked in, no pets. The interior was perfectly clean. I loved the thing. I really did, and I took great care of it. In the summertime, I'd pull it into the shade. I'd wax it. I would just spend hours. Sometimes I'd spend hours just staring at the car because I just loved it. I couldn't believe it was mine. I couldn't believe that I could attain something that nice. And it really sucks and it really hurts when you can lose those things. But then it teaches you that you can lose those things and life goes on. And that's just, I don't know, man. It's a strange feeling when you lose nice things like that. And it's a very painful feeling, and it sucks ass. Because I still owed money on it when it wrecked. I paid it off last year, and I just paid off my Explorer. And it's fucking raining outside. Fucking hell. But yeah, no, I mean, like, life happens. And unfortunately, the consequences can be catastrophic. So, you know, and in a couple ways, I'm very glad that I don't have to deal with the headache of getting the oil changed because they don't sell the oil that goes to that car. It's OW30. OW30 Kestrel oil or whatever. I couldn't fucking find it at AutoZone. I know. What fucking oil did it take? I'd have to go back and look on that year, what oil it takes, but it's fucking, I couldn't find it at AutoZone. I told them what it is, I just couldn't find it in the shelves. They looked it up and apparently they didn't have it. So, I guess what happens is the oil change at BMW was like fucking $300, man. It's like, yeah, yikes. It's a headache. It really is a fucking headache. The thing is, my car also didn't have a dipstick. So you really couldn't check the oil the old school way. You had to do some fucking computer bullshit to fucking see the oil level, and you don't even know if it's even accurate, if the sensors are fucking bad or whatnot. I don't know, it was a headache. I understand the criticism of German cars can be headaches, but it's like, I'm not going to fault the car for being designed that way. You know, if it was designed to be taken care of a certain way, just because I can't do it doesn't mean that I'm going to fault the car. It's just I don't have the fiscal capabilities of sustaining long-term ownership for that kind of car, and that's just reality. Some people can accept that, some people can understand that, some people can't. And so they'll try to rationalize it, because they'll get a BMW for $8,000 and they'll run into their first headache and realize how expensive it gets, and they're like, yeah, fuck this, I'm going back to Honda, or I'm going back to Toyota. And it's like, well, sorry, man. Sorry you feel that way. You know, I don't think reliability is everything. And that's the other thing. I don't think that cars have to be reliable, inherently. I just don't, like, there are people I know that have had cars for hundreds of thousands of miles and they've had their engines rebuilt, transmissions rebuilt, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, I just don't think that cars have to necessarily be hyper reliable. I don't think that, okay, just because something can go 600,000 miles doesn't mean it's going to be a great car with 600,000 fucking miles, and it's going to probably sound like shit. It might have starting problems. You might have to replace a lot of things, you know, ignition coils and stuff like that. Might have starter problems, you know, I mean, like, you'll have to replace, at that mileage, you're going to have to probably replace idler pulleys, and among other things, you know. It's just like, yeah, I'm sure Honda's more cheaper to buy those parts, and those parts are more available, I'm sure. I'm positive. I can guarantee it right now. those parts are available, and if they're not in stock right now, then they can get them in stock. Now, as far as like Honda quality goes, you know, I think quality is reliability does not mean quality. Reliability is just a component. It's just an aspect of something. Like somebody can be very intelligent in one area and completely ignorant in another area. It's just an aspect of intelligence, you know what I mean? It doesn't define, just because somebody can't do fucking crazy algebra things doesn't mean that they're not intelligent when it comes to like history or vice versa, you know? Like, I don't think that one category defines cars completely. And that's the whole reliability thing. Like, obviously a fucking Ferrari F40 is not going to be as cheap to maintain as, say, a Toyota. But what's the driving experience like? I'm sure it's a lot more fun. So yeah, my opinion might not appeal to some people, and I get that. You know, if I was to look at it from an honest perspective, what would be a better car to own long term, realistically? What's more sustainable? I'm gonna probably say the Honda, the Toyota, the Lexus, the Ford, the Chevy, the Buick, the fucking Lincoln, the fucking whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? It's like those are going to be more sustainable than most Italian cars. That's just a fact. But then again, you know, like if you can afford those cars, if you can afford the maintenance on those cars, and you're willing to do it, then yeah, I'm sure you can have it for a long time. Now, I do think it's bullshit, right? That Honda, or not Honda, that what was I saying? Honda. No, that Ferrari punishes buyers that actually push the vehicle to its limits. You know, it's like, isn't that why you buy a sports car, to push it? You know what I mean? So it's like, I get the Ferrari hate, because some of it goes unwarranted, but I understand why they defend their brand, their product. You know, like they don't want you fucking having a girl twerking on your fucking car, okay? They don't want that. It's just not, it just does not represent them. And they have the balls to basically tell you can't do that with our vehicle. No other car brand has the balls to tell you to do that. But Ferrari does, and that's why I respect them. But, you know, it's crazy to me. But, you know, I feel like with every car going for that electric push, I just feel like, you know, I fear for, like, if I ever have kids, I fear for what my son or my daughter might have at their disposal in terms of vehicles. So I gotta say, Teslas are ugly. I'm sorry, but they just are. They don't have grills, they don't have exhausts, they lack the things that make a car look like a car. They're very plain, boring, you know what I mean? Like, okay, if I think that the Prius looks boring, then the Tesla looks fucking disturbing. Like, literally the Cybertruck looks like a dumpster on wheels, and it is, quite frankly. Sorry to say it, man, but that's just the case, man. It looks like shit. It just does. I'm sorry, but electric cars make no sense to me. You know, people act like they're saving the planet or something.
Oh, good.
And the sad reality is, we're not doing anything better than we would using fossil fuels. Not to get too political or into topics of this nature, but we destroy the earth with heavy machinery to extract lithium, cobalt, and other sources to build these batteries. Alright? And these you know, the thing is, we transport these natural resources on a boat to mostly China and other countries, that, you know, especially China, that leads the world in pollution, to manufacture batteries, and then they send those batteries back on a boat that's not electric, by the way, to America, to be put in cars to save the future. It's stupid. The whole process pollutes, and we're not saving the planet. And at some point, when those natural resources become scarce, we're going to be running into the same damn problem that we're running in with fossil fuels. Which, by the way, I don't think people understand how much fossil fuels we really have.
Pure thermosonic energy.
You know, and I don't think people really appreciate fossil fuels for what they are. You know, without fossil fuels, we would still be killing whales in record numbers to produce oil.
Beyond that lies the second hurdle.
But instead, we use fossil fuels, and because of that, whales still exist.
That doesn't sound good.
Past the bunker.
On top of that,
Through the final hurdle.
the other problem with electric vehicles is they catch on fire. So the problem is the fire department can't put out those fires because the lithium fire that comes, or the fire that comes out of these electric batteries, the fire departments can't put them out. And they waste gallons upon gallons upon gallons of water to put them out, you know, and to not even be able to put them out. In some cases, I think in Florida, they dunked the water into the ocean for like a week. They pulled it out of the water, and as soon as it touched air, it reignited. It's insane. And quite frankly, it poses a fire hazard. And on top of that, it's like we have to depend on countries like China to manufacture them. If we literally switch to all electric cars, and that's the only thing you're allowed to drive, and that's the only thing you're allowed to buy, then we would be at mercy to a communist country. Or, okay, depends on how you look at that. You know, some people don't recognize China as a communist country. That's fine. But to me, the CCP is a very clear-cut organization. It's a very clear-cut entity. And I tell you what, man, it's dumb to me. You know, it's like the same people that vape versus smoking cigarettes, and they're like, "Oh, I'm saving my lungs, bruh. I'm vaping, bruh." Okay, well, you're inhaling metals, and among other things, formaldehyde. It's like that's so much better than inhaling nicotine and tobacco. I don't know, man. To me, it's just dumb. There's no common sense. It's I don't know. It's fucking stupid to me. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, you know, to me, it's stupid. To some people, you know, they might drown in their delusions, and that's fine. I don't really care. But at the bottom line is, you know, it's like when you mandate people to buy electric cars and you're only allowed to own this or that, then that's, to me, that's government overstretch, you know. I should be allowed to own whatever I'm allowed to own with whatever I can afford. Well, I should be allowed to own whatever I want if I can afford it. You know what I mean? And it's like the big push against like V8 engines. It's like the fun police that they just ruin everything. Like, you ever notice why trucks are getting bigger, you know? Like, if you look at a 1990s Chevy S10 or an F-150 or an old Ford Ranger versus, like, a more modern Ford F-150 or Chevy Silverado or Dodge 1500 pickup, you're noticing that these trucks are getting huge. And the reality is, the way that the laws go for emissions and stuff like that, so the trucks are allowed to do more, are allowed to emit the same amount of emissions that they would with their V8 if the vehicle is larger. So what they do is they make the trucks larger so they can emit the same amount of carbon emissions as they would normally, right? Without having to downsize their engines to make less carbon emissions. So instead they make the trucks bigger instead of the engine smaller. So that's how that works. So the reality is we're getting these big ass oversized trucks and that everyone over glorifies. That's another thing that pisses me off. I hate pickup trucks. It's not because I don't like the working class. It's because I literally don't like the fact that pickup trucks are becoming unaffordable. We've essentially gaslighted ourselves into thinking that pickup trucks are a luxury vehicle when they're not. We treat it as a luxury, which is, again, it's not. And part of that luxury is we care more about the bells and the whistles than we do the actual truck's capabilities for towing and other things. It's like we really quit caring about the people that buy the trucks versus the people that, I want to own a pickup truck. It's a luxury vehicle. It's the next hot thing. It's, to me, that's fucking stupid. You know, I wish people were that enthusiastic about sports cars, because sports cars are actually cool. and are kind of worth the higher price point. But instead, we've turned trucks into becoming ridiculous, crazy, fucking overpriced things. And the problem is, banks don't give loans to trucks or vehicles that are more than 10 years old usually. So we're forcing people to buy newer trucks. And the problem is, these newer trucks are overpriced and they kind of suck at a lot of things. In terms of reliability, at least, and the people that are buying these trucks aren't buying them because they want to. They're buying them because they need them. They're buying them because a lot of the working class people, a lot of the construction guys need to be able to put a job box in the back of it. I mean, you know, like, it makes sense. I don't hate trucks. I just hate what we've done to them, and I hate the direction that trucks are going. We're really forgetting where and why the need for trucks existed in the first place. It existed for the working class. It existed for farmers and for construction workers. And the problem is we're turning it into this fucking a flex item that people are fucking putting these retarded lift kits on them and these crazy fucking 20-inch rims with the low profile tires. I think it's fucking stupid. People squatting trucks. Exactly, they're too fucking expensive. I mean, literally 50 grand. Like, okay, am I buying a BMW? No. So why am I spending 50 grand? I don't. And I'm a Ford guy, you know, and I can't stand to see fucking F-150s going for 50 grand. You know, like, I've seen Honda Ridgelines, which aren't even trucks, they're man vans, going for 45 grand new, and they don't even have bedliner on them. Like, it's a joke. So I'm content with my Ford Explorer because, for one, I'm a security guard. I don't need a job box or nothing like that. I'm not working in construction. I'm not dogging construction either. I think it's a lot better than college. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I've had my friend Dominic a long time ago. He was my friend a long time ago. I'm sorry. We're not really on the best of terms now because he started like talking down to me and shit like that. Yeah. Exactly. People don't want to buy sports cars anymore, it seems like, and these companies don't want to make them because they don't sell as much because we've over-glorified trucks, and that's why the only thing you're going to see car companies producing is literally large pickup trucks and SUVs that nobody cares about, that people like me don't really care about in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's ludicrous to me. Like, to me, it's just straight up ludicrous. Because, I don't know, I'm a sedan guy. I love the Chrysler 300s. I love my favorite car platform. Well, I say my favorite a lot. But my favorite daily driving car platform that's just simply great, because I'm a Ford guy. I love the Panther platform. Right, that's the Mercury, Grand Marquis, the Lincoln Town Car, and the Ford Crown Victoria, the Crown Vic, right? I think it's powered by I think a 4.2 liter V8. I'm pretty sure. Those things are reliable. You know, like, those are my favorite, like, family sedan. If I had to just have a car that would just be indestructible, it'd be one of those. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that all the way. But, you know, it's like, I really, like, for me, Ford slapped me in the nutsack with the fucking Explorer, or the Mustang SUV. Yeah, I literally fucking, I hate that. It's fucking stupid to me. I kind of like the newer Broncos. I don't love them necessarily. I feel like they should have been. I feel like the design department kind of, you know, I would still prefer an older Bronco, and everyone's going to say that. I think that they get a lot of unnecessary hate. I think that their reliability problems, you know, okay, yeah, they need to make a more reliable product, but I don't own a Bronco, so I can't speak on that. You know what I mean? A lot of these cars I really can't speak on. So I'm not a huge Japanese car guy. I'll probably never own a JDM car. You know? Like, that's just the reality. I'm just not into them, man. You know, like I said, you know, I love the Nissan Skyline R34. you know, it's a great looking car by all means. It's got a great engine. It's easy. It's reliable. It's easy to modify without fucking making it unreliable. And it's a great looking car. But I'll never own one because, you know, the thing that made Japanese cars cool was that they were affordable, right? So instead of spending $100,000 on a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, you can buy a $40,000, you know, brand new Japanese car that's a sports car and it's decently reliable, and you don't have to go through the headache of this and that. But the problem is, these cars, they're not affordable anymore. They're $200,000 fucking dollars. If I had $200,000 fucking dollars, I wouldn't be buying a fucking Nissan Skyline R34. I'm sorry. I would instead be looking at buying something more like a Jaguar F-Type or a high-end BMW that's paid off. You know what I mean? But that's just me. You know, that's what I would do. But what I would do doesn't matter. You know what I mean? People should be able to do whatever they want to do, and that's the problem. The governments and all these environmentalist lobbyist people that want us to literally drive electric cars, they want to be able to tell us what we should or shouldn't own, and I think that's just that is the biggest problem. I feel like people should be able to drive whatever the fuck they can afford, whatever the fuck they want, you know, rather than, you know, forcing people to buy things they don't want. That's wrong to me, you know. I don't know, man. It's just an opinion thing, you know. It's like, you know, I'm okay with people wanting to drive electric vehicles if that's what they want. You know, you can go get in that line, you know. But me, I'm not going to be in that line with you. You know what I mean? And I don't support it. I don't like it. But I'm not going to tell someone what they should or shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Because that's up to that individual. And I feel like the problem with it is it's constantly forced down our throats, and I feel like electric cars are so boring. They're not loud, they're quiet, they're tame. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Part of why I enjoyed my BMW when I had it is it felt like I was taming a horse, right? At first it was kind of crazy. It had a lot of fucking pull to it, man. Once you put it in drive, it wants to go forward. Once you put a little bit of foot on the pedal, it's going forward, man. And it's once you fucking floor it, it feels like the engine wants to fucking shoot out of the fucking car. You know, like it was cool. And you know, I started off kind of like, oh, I'm kind of scared of this thing a little bit. To, man, I got this thing mastered. This thing's cool. And nothing feels better than mastering a car. Now my Explorer, you know, as far as power goes, okay, it made about 60, 70 more horsepower than my BMW. But the problem is you're not really feeling that power because there's more weight. And the other thing is the maneuverability. An SUV has crap maneuverability versus a two-door coupe. You know what I mean? I had so much maneuverability with my BMW, and I think maneuverability makes the car more safe. It might be faster, it might not be as big, but that car is safe. Yeah, it saved my life. The car went fucking airborne. Okay, it saved my life. You know what I mean? And I'm glad it did. So I don't like the argument of small cars aren't safe. I feel so safe in my SUV. As a matter of fact, I'll argue I don't feel as safe in my Ford Explorer than I did my BMW, because there are times on the highway, sitting up higher means more air goes underneath your car. And there are times where that makes the fucking car wobble a little bit when you're going fast. I like to go fast. But the problem is that car is not really meant to go fast now, is it? So I don't know, man. That's why I'm going to be getting a Mustang, man. I want to go. Ah, oh, damn it! I keep killing these damn things. I want to go back to driving something fun. That's just the bottom line, man. It doesn't. I'm not talking shit about the Explorer. It's very reliable. Within my first year of owning it, I put over 30,000 miles on it. And everyone keeps telling me it's gonna break, it's gonna do this, it's gonna take a shit. Same people that told me my BMW is gonna take a shit, and the car didn't take a shit. Okay, the car went airborne. And I'm sorry, but I think if I were to take a Honda airborne, I'm pretty sure it would take a shit too. Like, I'm just saying, man.
sign and find Bloodwing.
Quiet!
Bloodwing should be in the holding cells at the other end of the facility. Find her, find your trap trap.
Silence!
Feel it!
Wow.
And, you know, there's just a little side topic I want to kind of bring up a little bit because I feel like the point doesn't get stressed enough. People bitching about the newer Corvettes being a mid-engine car. What's wrong with that? Alright, like, here's the problem, right? The Corvette engines are fucking great. I'm a Ford guy, and I fucking love the Corvette engines, right? The thing is, a lot of shell car companies, people put Corvette engines in these shell cars that are mid-engine, and they're getting crazy performance out of them because of it. But the thing is, Chevy doesn't really get the credit they really deserve for that, so they decided to instead make a mid-engine car to compete with the shell cars. A shell car is a car sold without an engine. You can put your own engine in it and make it your own. It's an awesome concept, but the thing is, it's like, you know, car brands that pride themselves on selling a product, especially like those LS engines. Again, man, you know, there's just they're very nice. I'm a Ford guy saying that, all right. Granted, I prefer the 5.0 Coyotes. Coyote engines are fucking badass. I love Shelby engines, you know, like I love BMW engines for crying out loud, all right. You know, like. I'm a man of various different tastes. I like a lot of engines. The old 351 Clevelands are pretty interesting. I like those. I like those a lot. Yeah, man, you know what, man, classic cars are just built better, you know, because it's like an Italian mother says, the best trick to cooking is the best ingredient to food is love. If it was made with love, it tastes better. You know, those cars were made with love, man. They were made passionately by hardworking Americans. And nowadays, we treat them like appliances, because they are. There's no personality to them. And to me, it's ruined cars completely for me. That's why I hate modern cars. You know, older cars are just made with love, man. And it's true, man. You can see it, man. You can see it with everything, man. That someone made that. Someone handmade that, you know? And it's just like, it's just made with so much more personality and character than something that's machine manufactured by some fucking robot arm in some factory on a conveyor belt. You know, it's just not the same. You really cannot compare them. You know, take a 57 Chevy Bel Air, alright? Then take a fucking modern day Tesla. It's like, yeah, the Tesla has this big ass screen. I don't give a fuck about the goddamn screen, alright? I like these gauges. I like the cluster instrument, you know? I like the fucking, the cluster gauge. I don't know, man. There's just something to it, man. There's just something to older vehicles, man. And I just cannot. And you know what? Sure, you got to deal with carburetors and stuff like that, but honestly, man, I'd rather deal with carburetors than fucking deal with this modern computer dog shit. I'm sorry, man, but I don't want this fucking checkbox list of fucking codes to check and have to fucking go through constant bullshit to fucking figure out what's wrong with my car. You know what I'm saying? And then nothing really beats the feeling of manually driving a car. You know, I mean, there's something to mastering driving a car. The only reason that I don't want a manual Mustang right now and a V6 Mustang over a V8 is because of insurance reasons. And the other thing is, I don't have the money to replace a clutch should I burn the clutch, which I don't want to do. It's something I'm very conscientious about. Because if I'm buying, because I'm buying it used, I'm not buying it new, right? Because I'm not rich, I'm not made of money. So the thing is, I have to trust that the previous owner took care of the car and didn't do stupid shit with the car. The problem is, I don't trust nobody. So that's just a habit thing. And the only other factor is, the only other sports car I've ever driven is a BMW with literally 230 horsepower. Ooh, legendary. Sweet. And like, I don't consider SUVs sports cars. They're just simply utility vehicles, and I don't consider them trucks either. They're just utility vehicles. And I'm not big into SUVs. I'd say that apart from the Explorers and the Expeditions, Lincoln Navigators and Lincoln Aviators, the only other SUV I would ever really consider owning is something like a Cadillac Escalade, or a GMC Yukon. But I'm not an SUV guy, I swear. You know what I'm saying? I prefer more sophisticated body designs and stuff like that. I think that's why I love BMW. Is I love their cars because they're so uniform and their engines are very sophisticated. There's something to it that I just love. And I don't know, man. I just love German engineering. I'm one of those type of guys, you know. The Porsches, the Mercedes-Benz. But I'm a BMW guy, though. Like, that's probably the only German car brand I'd ever own is BMW. And if I had the choice, I would drive a 1995 855 CSI. It's a 12-cylinder BMW coupe. It is fucking... Dude, it is rad. Dude, that car design is so fucking rad, bro. I just like the way it looks. And it's got all of the luxuries and amenities of a 90s car. So you get to feel what it actually feels like to drive it in a manual 12-cylinder engine that's well-geared, well-engineered. That's where it's at for me, man. Like, that's the pinnacle of car. Oh, no, the pinnacle... hold on. I gotta stop myself. The pinnacle of car is a Ford GT40. Ferrari F40 is pretty close. Like a modern pinnacle of car engineering and car design. McLaren makes some really awesome engines, but I gotta still give it to like the Ford, give it to like I don't know, those Coyote engines are really fucking sweet, but I don't know. The Shelby GT350s from 2017. I think that's like the pinnacle of modern car design. But that's just my opinion. I mean, like, you know, that people can say the Honda CR-V is like the pinnacle of car design, and I'll laugh at their face and be like, you're full of it, man. But to them, that's what it is, man, and, you know, that's perfectly fine. But I'm a Mustang guy, man, so I don't know, man. I guess like the older Ford like the Gran Torinos are really cool too. I like those. I like the old school Mercury Marauders and the Mercury Cougars. I like just about any Ford product pretty much. I'm a Ford extremist. But that's just me. You know, like, I'm not gonna say it's the world's best vehicle. You know, like, sometimes Ford makes some pretty weird dog shit. Sometimes their engines are kind of complicated for a standard vehicle that it's not really meant for someone like a BMW mechanic to work on, right? Sometimes they make some wacky shit, but, you know, for the most part, I like their designs. Like, mainly the Crown Vics, the Lincoln Town Car, pretty much any Panther platform, really. Older Mustangs, classic. Fox body Mustangs, a little bit overrated in the drag scene, you know, because on the drag strip, a well-tuned Fox body is going to be a very common scene. You know what I mean? Like, so you can see a bunch of them. Older Ford Broncos, especially, they're fun. You know, and Ford is capable of doing the one thing that no other car can seem to do. Make me like vans. Because I hate vans. I think they're just literally a fucking box. Literally just a fucking box on wheels. Alright? But Ford can fucking do it well, man. Like, I'm a fan of the I can't lie. If I were to own any van, it would have to be a 1980s Ford Econoline. Fucking with like the raised roof. And I would fucking put a waterbed in the back, bro. Fucking 1980s style, have a custom paint job. It would be fucking like a dark, not like it's too dark, but like a decently dark blue, like a Pepsi blue, with like a light blue flame. That'd be fucking bad. Light blue and purple flames, bro. That'd be fucking badass, and chrome, and fucking pimp it out like a lowrider and fucking like not even drive it. Like, I don't fucking know, man. Fucking crazy. Yeah, just keep me away from money. You never know what might happen. I gotta say, with modern truck design, though, I'm really impressed by those Raptors. As a landscaper, I drove mostly Ford trucks. I got a chance to drive basically most of like modern fleet truck. They were fleet trucks, like they weren't really like commercial, like you know what you would see at a dealership. You know, these are fleet grade. So in other words, they're sold in bulk. They're like the cheapest of the cheapest, crappiest materials. But you know what, man? As a landscaper, when I was a landscaper, nothing felt better than to park the truck underneath the shade and eat my lunch in the fucking truck with the AC on. Man, dude, Ford makes one hell of... I don't know what it is, bro, but like Ford ACs are fucking different. They're built different, man. There's just something about them, man. They're just... Nah, man, they're just different. But man, I don't necessarily hate Chevy completely. I'm not one of those guys either, you know. I really like the Chevelles and the Chevy Novas, the Chevelles, and the what's the other one I'm thinking of? The Vega. I like those, believe it or not. I actually like those. El Caminos are cool. They're weird. I don't. They're not practical, but they don't have to be. It's like a muscle car and a truck. I mean, Ford has the El Ranchero. It's not much better. I'm not going to say it even is better, actually. I would still prefer the El Camino over the El Ranchero. Car designs I absolutely hate have to be the Kia Soul, the Toyota Prius, the Honda Civic. Sorry, guys. If you like Honda Civics, you know, like, I'm sorry. That's great that you like them, but I just don't. Doesn't mean that you don't have to. You know, I'm not going to talk shit about the people. Now, I will say this, alright, to the Honda Civic owners that straight pipe their little 4-cylinder car and make it sound like a dying lawnmower. That's just annoying.
You found the slag samples? Fantastic.
I'll say that. That's just annoying. And the whole pulling up next to me, revving at me, trying to race me or some bullshit when I'm literally just trying to go to fucking McDonald's. It's like, come on, guys, man. I'm not. Like, I'm in a Ford Explorer, okay? I'm not even in a sports car, alright? There's no race. I don't know what we're doing here. No, and I get it, man. You know, the Civic people are like, well, I got a Civic with a laptop. I got a bada. It's like, okay. It's still a Civic. You know, like, it's cool that they can tune them so quick, and it's cool that you can get them for dirt cheap. That's cool that you can make them decently quick for not that much money, but I still don't like them, man. But again, though, you know, my opinions. Again, I don't think that just because I don't like something doesn't mean that y'all don't have to, man. You know. But what I do like are like the really chill owners of vehicles that are in their own space. They're not too annoying about it.
God damn it!
And I think you guys all know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, soldier.
But
Do what you can to save her, but if you can't, she's got what we need to get
you know,
Control Core Angel and grab the vault key.
like I mean, there is such a thing. I've seen a couple like Civic SIs. I can't stand the hatchback, like the fucking the 1990s like Type R hatchback. That thing to me, hatchbacks are ugly. And that's the other thing. I'm not a hatchback kind of guy. Like I don't even like the Volkswagen Golf. I think that's like one of the most overrated cars of all times. So I think like the Volkswagen Golf from the 80s, it looks like complete shit. Like, I'm sorry, but it really was the Kia Soul of that time. And the first gen Civics especially are like, they were like what, only 60 something horsepower? You know, and it's crazy to me to think there was a time in history where 112 horsepower was considered a lot of horsepower. And now we got cars that are making factory 600, 500, 700 horsepower. Like, to me, it's just insane how far we've come in terms of like car engineering in such a short period of time too.
Okay, she's still alive. Get the microchip from her collar, and we can get her back to Sanctuary. Oh, now I remember.
Okay, what time is it, guys? Holy fuck, it better not be 3 in the morning. Okay, 4:22. Alright, guys. I hate to do this to everybody, but I gotta fucking get going, man. I got work in the morning, and I'm gonna be doing a 12-hour shift. Now, I guess it's kind of okay, because this is around the time I kind of went to bed last night. I went to bed, I think, a little bit later. I think I went to bed at like 6 in the morning. But I don't have to work. I didn't have to work at 12 to this next shift I work. I'll have to, so I have to because no one else is coming in on Friday morning. So it'd be from 4 in the afternoon till 4 in the morning the next day. So yeah, that's 12 hours. All right, guys. I hate to do this to you guys, but again, I'll be streaming again this weekend for sure. I'll be doing like a long stream, but yeah, I was for a couple hours. I am getting kind of tired anyway. But then again, it's whatever. I don't know. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.